Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in this evening for our virtual World AIDS Day ceremony and candlelight vigil. My name is Raul Peralez, and I'm the Council Representative for District 3, which encompasses the downtown core and its surrounding neighborhoods. It is my pleasure to be able to participate again in celebrating and remembering the importance of what World AIDS Day means to me and our community. Though this has been a challenging year, and unfortunately we cannot gather in person as we normally would, I am glad that we are still able to connect with each other virtually. World AIDS Day is held on December 1st every year and is an opportunity for individuals to come together in the fight against HIV, show our support for the estimated 36.7 million people living with HIV, and to honor the more than 35 million who have lost their lives from an AIDS-related illness. These numbers continue to prove too high, which is why city and county organizations continue to work to increase awareness of HIV and AIDS, share resources available to those affected, and improve education and fight to get access to HIV prevention and treatment for those that need it. Research has also found that African American and Hispanic Latinx residents are disproportionately impacted by the disease, with rates among African Americans more than 4 times higher than rates among non-Hispanic whites. I hope that events such as these continue to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS in Santa Clara County, and most importantly, serve as a symbol that our city will continue to support and remember those impacted by this disease. I would like to give a big thank you to the Santa Clara County HIV Commission, Nicole Altamirano for being our host this evening, and everyone else who has helped work to put this event together and continue to bring awareness and provide resources about HIV and AIDS. I would also like to invite everyone to stop by City Hall between November 30th and December 6th, where you will see our City Hall Tower and Rotunda lit in red to recognize World AIDS Day in the city of San Jose. Thank you.
I'm here to celebrate and acknowledge World AIDS Day. This day is of particular importance to me as I remember and think about my brother Tim. My brother Tim is an older brother who passed away in 1998. He was one of 6 children in my family, and I want to share a little bit about him with you as to why he's so important and why this remembrance is so important. Every day, a day doesn't go by that I don't think about my brother Tim. Although I grew up in a family of 6 kids, he was the one that was particularly close to me. He always came down to visit me in San Jose. He taught me some wonderful things which I will share with you later. But primarily, I want you to know that he was a man of creativity, of artistic ability, of music, of love, of joy. He lived life large, larger than most people I know, and he would be proud of me to know that I am sitting here in acknowledgement of not just him, but of all the people around the world who live life large, regardless of their sexual preference or sexual identity. A couple of things I want to share with you, though, is that when Tim passed, we're remembering World AIDS Day, so I want to talk about his passing and how difficult that was for me. A few days before he passed, I realized that he was actually dying. No one in my family mentioned that to me. I lived in San Jose, he's up in Portland, until my sister told me that he was dying and that I needed to come up to town. I bought tickets on an airline right away, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get there in time. He passed away the next day and my tickets were for the following week. Foolishly, I wrote this letter to him that I hoped to send that said, "Hold on, Tim, I'm coming. Please stay there until I can give you a hug and show you love. Hold on until my baby is born and you can meet her." I was pregnant at the time and I wanted Tim so much to be the uncle he could to my daughter. But unfortunately, that wasn't meant to be. I lost my brother in May, and it is the deepest loss that I have felt and will continue to feel all my life. Though in the birth of my daughter, I see Tim every day. I see the creativity from Tim, the musicality from Tim, the living life large and the joy of Tim in my daughter Caitlin every day. So his legacy lives on. Though he lived a life of being bullied, of being disrespected by the police in Portland, of being disrespected by the hospital that he was at a month or so before his death. The hospital literally took him from the hospital when they realized he had AIDS and dropped him at the doorstep of his home by a cab without seeing if he had any medical attention or anyone there who could take care of him. That is tragic and should not happen again. We are here to remember World AIDS Day. We are here to remember those who have passed. But this is really a calling to take care of those who are sick today, to make sure they are not treated the same way that my brother was, and many other countless stories that you can hear that are very similar to that. This is an opportunity for us to go forward and to continue to help those in need who have AIDS, who are sick, and we can take care of them and help them. Please let us recognize those people have passed, but please share in their joy and memories, because that is how they would want us to remember them. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Mario Lopez, and you're watching Outlook Video.
Welcome. This is the Reverend Doti Boon, and here at the Center for Creative Living. And behind me is a memorial quilt. It didn't start out as a memorial quilt. It started out as a quilt for my mother's 75th birthday. But since then, it is a quilt that represents the Reverend Byron Floyd, who is a member of the MCC, Metropolitan Community Church of San Jose, and it's a hand-drawn Christmas card that he gave me. And he passed away of AIDS in 1993. And then right across from it is a picture of my brother, Dr. Bartlett Falls, who passed away from AIDS in 1994. Now, Dr. Falls had a wonderful practice in San Francisco at the corner of Noe and Market Street. And the last year before his death, he had seen 189 patients who were suffering from AIDS. He was right in the middle. He was in the battleground right there. And he did massage. He did as much healing work as he could before he passed away from AIDS. So when I look at this quilt and I see all these faces and all the memories of these people who have gone on, not all the people here passed from AIDS. They have passed from cancer, heart attack, accident, suicide, because many people in my life are no longer here. But having a quilt that memorializes them is so wonderful. So when you think about the AIDS quilt, think about other quilts. Quilts of stories of families, quilts like this one that are so representative of people. Here at the Center for Creative Living, we have an AIDS retreat, and that is quarterly. And we are so glad to have people come and be here who are thriving. So I don't want you to just think of this as a death quilt. It's not. It's a memory quilt. And of course, my mother's picture is on there, and so many other people that I want to remember. Hopefully you have a way to keep your memories of your people, not only in your heart, but on a wall. Thank you for joining us this morning. Bye now.
Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words today. Today is a day of remembrance, a day to remember the thousands of lives lost to a horrific disease that so many for so long were either terrified to acknowledge or desperate to ignore. It was a time of panic, of threats, of intense discrimination and stigmatization of so many. We must never forget those who were lost because of ignorance and hate. We also remember the medical personnel, the doctors, the nurses, the lab technicians, the researchers who worked so hard for countless hours to find treatments to challenge the tide of public scorn. They are all heroes, including, still so critical to our nation's public health today, Dr. Anthony Fauci. We remember with tears the unending panels of the AIDS memorial quilt stitched with thousands upon thousands of names. But that quilt brought communities hope, and the numbers were replaced with the blessings of real lives. We have come such a long way. Though HIV is still with us, there have been dramatic successes in understanding, treatment, and management of the disease and its precursors. People are living longer with treatments. Prevention through drugs such as PrEP are making the disease undetectable, which thankfully means untransmittable. At a recent report to the Santa Clara County HIV Commission, we learned that the U.S. Office of Infectious Disease and HIV/AIDS reported that currently there are 1.2 million people living with HIV in the United States, but nearly 14%, or 1 in 7 of them, have not been diagnosed. Only 56% of people living with AIDS are suppressed despite the availability of highly effective care and treatment that suppresses the viral load to protect the health of people with HIV as well as prevent transmission. Over the next 5 years, the office's goal is to reduce infection by 75% and in 10 years by 90%. Our Santa Clara County HIV Commission works hard monitoring and directing the Ryan White funds. I am proud that they are one of the most active county commissions, even in this time of shelter in place and virtual meetings. We're making progress here in Santa Clara County. However, this is not the time to slow down our efforts to reduce the infections or back off on the work of destigmatizing the virus and related biases. We must continue to encourage testing, treatment, and use of preventative drugs. On December 1st, we remember and we continue to act up and we continue to fight AIDS, HIV.
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo. Our World AIDS Day show would not be complete without speaking with Dr. Michael Harbour, physician from the Pace Clinic at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center and University of California, Berkeley School of Public Health. He is formerly the Associate Clinical Professor of Medicine at Stanford University School of Medicine and U.S. Director of Medical Affairs for HIV and Hepatitis C at Merck, the international pharmaceutical company. Michael, thank you for joining us tonight. What can you tell us about the fight against AIDS? It's been a long journey.
Yeah, hi Tom. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
You know, each year we make a bit more progress towards better care, better treatments, and that all-elusive cure. So we have made some advances, but we're still, looking for the goal of a cure.
So incremental progress gets us to the goal.
Yes.
Is that right?
So there's many different ways that we alleviate the number of new infections in the country. We treat people with better medications to get their viral loads down. So when their viral loads are undetectable, they actually cannot transmit the virus to other people. So we have a little saying, U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable.
That's great.
Yeah. And then we have newer medications that are treating patients with less side effects. They're more potent. And we're actually now looking at sometimes weekly therapy for the future, or an injection that may be just given once per month. And that would take away the daily pills. So different ways to treat patients and
I remember not too long ago where it was basically a death sentence, and then things have gotten better. And then there was multiple pills in a cocktail, and then multiple pills became a single pill, and then the other therapies you describe.
Right. So we have single tablet regimens where multiple medications are put into one small, easy to take, convenient tablet, and people can pop it like an ibuprofen and be done with it. And that's the goal, is to just help people be adherent to their therapy. When they're adherent, they are almost virtually assured good health in terms of at least HIV. There are many things that people living with HIV for a long time now are dealing with, the chronic high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cardiac disease. But if they take their meds for HIV, we can pretty much assure them a good long life without complications.
A quality life that's now extended,
Exactly.
which is great. So let's talk about what, if you're sexually active, what are some things that can be done to protect yourself?
Sure. So people who are sexually active, they can take pre-exposure prophylaxis, also known as PrEP. It's a single 1 tablet per day treatment that is actually like 2/3 of a normal HIV cocktail. And if they take that on a daily basis, and regularly and consistently, that's the key, they can actually prevent infection if they happen to be infected by somebody who's HIV positive. But on the flip side, knowing that if you have sexual relations with somebody who is HIV positive and taking their meds daily and has an undetectable viral load, that's pretty much
you're probably better than most of the general population.
Exactly,
right?
and there's no chance of transmission. So if you are in a relationship with somebody whose viral load is undetectable, you equals you. Undetectable equals untransmittable, and that's the really important thing to know.
And is there a new PrEP pill out?
Yes, so Truvada had been the PrEP pill that's used. It still can be used, but Descovy, which is a new and improved formulation of Truvada, now can be given. It's mostly been approved just in men and transgender females. So that's where we are utilizing it. It hasn't been approved for women. They have to take the older formulation of Truvada.
So talking about protecting yourself, I understand that STDs have exploded. It's always been there. It's always a problem, something to protect yourself from. But what can you tell us about the current state of STDs?
So sexually transmitted infections include gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, and they are all at all-time highs now. And I see it in the clinic all the time. And I think many people who are not using condoms because they're not afraid of getting HIV anymore if they're on PrEP, or they have a sexual partner who's undetectable, that doesn't stop the transmission
Right,
of these
so they're preventing
diseases.
the HIV, but they're not preventing the STDs that
Exactly.
might come with that.
And so it's important to get screened regularly, and it's important to get screened in any orifice that you may be having sexual contact. So your mouth, your genital area, and your anus. So you can get screened in 3 different locations, and it's important to tell your doctor where you're having sex so that they appropriately screen those areas.
And sometimes it's a difficult conversation, I would guess.
It is a difficult
right?
conversation.
As a doctor, you probably have to pull it out of some people, maybe?
Well, you have to talk about where we're doing it. And just as you talk about it in a upfront and non-biased way, that's how you need to talk to a patient with it. So they're able to tell you what's going on.
That's great. So you have to come clean to your doctor to get the best care for yourself.
Essentially, yes, absolutely.
That's great. All right, well, until next year, we're out of time, and it's always great to talk to you and see what's happening, and I really appreciate your being here. For those of you who want more information, look at your screen, please, and point your browser to the PACE Clinic, and thank you again, Dr. Michael Harbour, for being here. It's not World AIDS Day without you.
Thank you.
The Santa Clara County HIV Commission. We raise this flag in honor of organizations that provide HIV care, testing, and prevention services. We raise this flag in honor of friends and family of those living with or who have died of HIV or AIDS. We raise this flag in support of those living with HIV and AIDS. And finally, we raise this flag in memory of those who have died of AIDS.
Yeah, tough staff because of, I believe, the COVID fatalities.
You can watch extended versions of our segments and archive past programs on Outlook Video's YouTube channel at youtube.com/OutlookVideo. Be sure to click on the subscribe button and also click on the bell for notifications of our latest videos.
Also friend us on Facebook at facebook.com/Outlook Video. Outlook Video is made possible by generous donations from viewers like you.
Now, what we found during the AIDS pandemic was that people were transmitting this by various ways. And one of the ways they were contracting is by having unprotected sex. I'm talking about condoms. And they were saying, oh, well, that doesn't make sex isn't as good. I don't like them. I don't want to do that, and I'll never get that virus. Well, think of the COVID people who were saying, I don't want to wear a mask. I don't look good in a mask, doesn't feel good, and I'll never get the virus. We're dealing with the same thing, only not quite, because, right now, we've almost come to a vaccine to help us with the COVID epidemic. Not yet with AIDS. So I don't want you to think, okay, I haven't heard of anybody contracting AIDS, so obviously it's on the way out. It's not. We still have people in all sorts of countries of the world that are becoming sick with AIDS daily. When the COVID hit, it hit fast and hard. And there are over 20 million people worldwide who have suffered or have died. But right now, the AIDS pandemic has taken over 23 million people who have suffered and died. And so this is a time for us to reach back and look at what might have been done. We know that President Reagan wasn't too interested in talking about AIDS, let alone finding a cure, until many people got behind it. And also when his friend Rock Hudson died of this dreaded disease, he became more interested in helping the people of the United States, and in doing so, help the people of the world.
We all belong, we all belong. We all belong, we all belong. Oh, all the ancestors deep and strong hold to this purpose all these years long. We are here to sing the song. We are here, we all belong. We all belong, we all belong. Ooh, we all belong, we all belong. We carry the promise we hold to the truth. We are here for each other. We are all. We all belong. We all belong. We all belong. We all belong. We light the candles, sing the songs, hold the healing. We all belong. We all belong. And you are our ancestors, deep and strong. And you hold us to this purpose all these years long. We belong, we belong, we belong. We all belong. great circle of hope. We belong to the universe that reaches to the stars, to the chambers of each other's heart. The power that we hold true, you and me, me and you. We all belong, we all belong to this circle of love. We light the candles, we sing the song. Deep and strong, we held to this purpose. You have held us all these years long, and we know we belong. We all belong. We all belong. Oh yeah, we all belong. Power you gave us is strong, me and you and me, hold each other eternally. We all belong, we all belong, we all belong. We light this candle, we sing this song.